Okay, this is how I'm going to run through from the very beginning on how to make a scrunchie, but also how to make a pattern for your scrunchie so you don't have to rethink about it every time you want to go and make another one, because scrunchies are fantastic to use up the remnants when you're sewing. And you know, if you want to make a matching scrunchie to what you've just made, you know, it's such a perfect idea. And also to, you know, I think it's a great way to take care of your hair without, because you go through bloody hair ties like nobody's business. Anyway, here's a hack. Baking paper. Extra wide baking paper, because sticking this together is near impossible. I tried it the other day, doesn't work. So what you want to do, right, is you want to, this is great for making patterns for smaller pieces, okay? And it's a bridging thing. And for kids, this is fantastic. Learning how to sew. I taught Penny the other day how to make a pattern from a very favorite pair of pants that she knows fits her. We changed a few things about it that she wanted to change, but we used baking paper as her pattern. So go to Aldi, I think they're $3. It's a great way to teach yourself how to make patterns. So we want to go 10 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 centimeters by 40. Now there's a thick line. Can you see those? You may not be able to, but there's a thick line every 5 squares. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then I'm going to go down my 10 squares. And that's my pattern for my scrunchie. You want to, it doesn't really matter about the grain line, but I'm just going to put it there just for best practices. Now, you have a 1.5 inch seam allowance that you need to mark on it. That way you've got a stitch. Actually, it's not a seam allowance. This is your seam allowance is 1 centimeter. So we're going to add that to our pattern. But we want to do a stop stitch when we're stitching at 2.5 centimeters. So we want to mark it, so I'm going to go for 3 anyway, so that you know that that's where your stop stitch is. 1, 2, 3. When you actually go to join the pattern together, you'll see it in the video. Anyway, that is your pattern for your scrunchie. I'm going to give this to Penny so that she can use it over and over again and make scrunchies faster. Now, you should have paper scissors and fabric scissors. Don't cross them over, as in don't use paper for fabric, don't use fabric for paper. I know you're in the thick of it sometimes and you think, oh, I'll just cut it with my fabric scissors. Don't do it, it blunts it. I've had these scissors for 15 years. They're still as sharp as the day I got them, because I only use them for fabric, and also yeah, that's it, I only use it for fabric, that's it. Treat them as they're meant to be, for what they're made for. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the selvage, but I'm not going to go too far with it. So I know I've got a centimetre seam, so I'm going to go in a centimetre or just under a centimetre close to my selvage, so probably that thickness in. So that's about as far as I can take my pattern over, I would. Okay, let's get sewing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pattern. We're going to mark our seam allowance, and then we're going to mark our stitch. So we're going to do the same this end. That's for the final when we close the scrunchie. This is for when we're turning it inside out. It's a small panel, so I'm not going to pin it. I'm going to hold the pattern down with my fingers. But if you're really super noob, please pin, especially along long pieces. But this was pretty straight. We outlined it. We've done it that way. So, grain line, selvage. Don't have to worry about that with scrunchies, but it's a good rule to understand. Okay, let's get sewing this.
Start off with is say 10 centimetres by 45 centimetres. The elastic is, you can do a 12 mil elastic if you want, but I generally use a 1/4 inch elastic, around 6 mil or so. So what we're going to do is, and we're going to do it so that you'll see very little stitching. So lengthwise, I'm going to fold the panel in half, lengthwise. And then I'm going to start about 1 inch or so from the top, from the outer edge. Use a centimetre seam, or you can just use the width of your foot. And we'll stitch along using my foot as my guideline for a straight line. And I'm going to stop around about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. You'll play with that as you get more from the end. So then I'm going to turn it inside out. So you need a chopstick. There it is. So we have it turned it the right way out, and we have our 2 openings. So now what we're going to do is turn it like so and put the 2 ends together. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit fiddly. Does depend on how much or how thick your fabric is, because this is fairly thick.
How are we going to put the elastic in there?
You've got a safety pin. And then I'm going to stitch that again a foot width of the machine foot width away from the edge. And there it is. Nice round scrunchie. I'm just going to flatten out my joints here. And I'm going to fold in the edge here. And just pin it for the moment because I've got to do the elastic first. So that when we've stitched the elastic in, what we're going to do is stitch this on top on the outside. Use a thread that won't be seen if you've got it, but if you haven't got it, it will scrunch up and it will scrunch up and you won't see it anyway. So 7 inches we need, 20 centimetres. And see how that goes. Then with your safety pin, just push it through.
How do you stop the other end from going too far in?
I watch it very carefully and then pin it. Thread through your elastic. There's a number of ways you can do this. If you want, you can tie it in a knot. I prefer that it be flat because it adds less bulk. And put it flat and stitch it across, or horizontal or across, doesn't matter which way. You can put it on a zigzag if you want, or just a straight stitch and then go. Don't have your sewing machine set on to cut. Have another look at it. Like that. And then fold in the edges. And then stitch across your opening.